Hello, World Wide Web. I'm Dr. Shado, the inner personality of the best hair, and Dinosember 2 continues this week with Planet of Dinosaurs. God damn it. What the fuck?
Seriously? You're downloading the movie?
I own the disc. It's fucking legal. It's under format shifting copyright law. It's fine.
If you say so. Be warned. I'm not the one getting into trouble, damn it.
It's legal. It's fine. It's legal. It's legal. Anyway, we're looking at Planet of Dinosaurs, motherfucker. Planet of Dinosaurs is a low-budget science fiction film from 1977, likely capitalizing off the popularity of Planet of the Apes. Yeah, this came out 9 years later, but still, it's a damn popular movie franchise. In a similar fashion, astronauts traveling in deep space wind up on a strange planet, inhabited not by men, but by dinosaurs. Yeah, it's the same kind of information you could gather about this movie from the fucking title alone, but still, that is the synopsis. And the plot. And pretty much everything you can say about this movie without giving too much away too fast. I can say by low budget, I do mean very low budget. There's not much in terms of sets here, just settings. Or rather, just one setting, where we see the cast wander around while complaining about going weeks without hearing a return on their distress signal, but at least this atmosphere somehow keeps their beards nice and trimmed. Without further ado, let's take a look at Planet of Dinosaurs and see exactly how they got into this predicament. After the opening credits spoil every single creature we're going to see in this movie first fucking thing, I get that you're proud of your special effects, but damn, we move on to a spaceship traveling in uncharted territory. Of course, shit goes wrong instantly.
Admiral, emergency, runaway reactor. We have a runaway reactor. Admiral, she's gone critical.
With no build-up or explanation as to how shit fucked up so badly. I guess we could just fill in the blanks ourselves.
What the hell did you do?
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that the air would respond to dubstep this badly. Don't worry, they may have had about 30 seconds notice, but they still managed to fill a lifeboat with the captain and various crew members pulling away just in the nick of time. You're gonna have to be a little more specific than "it's gone." I mean, that same special effect has been used in teleportation in other movies. This is Nyla, played by Pamela Bottaro. She's got a seat next to Captain Northside Pornstash, played by Louis Lawless. The two of them desperately scram to get the situation under control.
Captain Northside, the communications officer. Did you manage to send out an SOS?
Yes, sir. I sent out a signal, but I don't know if anyone picked it up.
And it's been, what, a fucking minute? I never specify exactly how good their communications equipment is supposed to be, but how exactly is Porn Xers headquarters supposed to respond when they receive S-O blank? Well, I guess it's not that important.
Captain, what the hell happened?
The Odyssey disintegrated.
Yes, I know. I can see that, but I'm asking what the hell happened?
I don't know, alright? The movie started, shit happened, and we're just gonna have to deal with it. That's pretty much it. They do flip through the rest of the crew and spout some technobabble, but it's really not that important. When it all comes down to is mysterious planet they're near.
Keep her floating, Jim. We're gonna land her down there.
Captain, we don't know what's down there.
We have no other choice.
Not really. You do mention later that you have communications equipment. You could send out another distress signal, or try and figure out where you are and orient yourself and use the last of your fuel to push yourself towards inhabited space and hope for the best. At the very least, land on the planet is but one of many options.
Captain, slow her down.
Slow or fast, Mr. Baylor. We're landing.
Not quite. Slow, you're landing, and fast, you're becoming abstract art.
Captain, dead ahead. I see her something.
That'll give us a soft landing.
Only in fucking video games, yeah, water is softer than rock, but when you're going 100 meters per second, that shit'll still rip you the fuck apart. Here, though, it only results in a slight risk of whiplash. More importantly, they find the water landing was a terrible idea as the ship is already sinking.
Oh, can't you swim? Come on. Not very well. Shuttle's going down.
Oh, she can't swim very well. That'll be really funny in about 2 minutes. They barely manage to jump out of the port from the soundstage onto the superimposed background in the nick of time, as their ship sinks beneath the surface of the water, never to be seen again. As luck would have it, despite them not packing any watercraft or using their seat cushions as life preservers, they manage to swim over to a nearby shore which gives them more time to assess the situation.
Captain, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Captain, what are we gonna do? Survive, Mr. Baylor.
Survive. We're gonna survive! And the ship disintegrated. And water's wet. This guy isn't terse, he's fucking brain dead.
We've landed on a planet with atmosphere and life conditions much like Earth.
Yeah. I hear that's not so rare.
I, don't know if you noticed this, Mr. Baylor, but our solar system has quite a few planets. Only one of them is habitable. Anyhow, this is Harvey Baylor, their boss, played by Harvey Shane. We also have Derna, played by Derna, Chuck by Chuck, Charlotte by Charlotte, and Jim as Jim. Something tells me certain actors had trouble remembering their character names.
So we're lost. I don't know where we are. He doesn't know where we are. She don't know where we are. You don't know where we are.
Didn't you send out an SOS? Yes, but I don't think it was received.
Well, send it again, girl.
Where is the distress transmitter?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to tow it in.
And we wind up in a new crisis. Cindy, played by Mary Appleseth, forgot the most important piece of equipment if they ever hope to be rescued. Chuck volunteers to retrieve the equipment from the lake, taking his shirt off for the rest of the movie.
Wait! I'll help you.
How will having 2 people swim out there help in the slightest? Oh, that's how. Okay, then carry on. Please tell me that Chuck screams like a girl. Of course not, but the predator in the lake being well-fed is enough to get Chuck to say, fuck retrieving the gear, just get the hell out of there.
Why did she come out there? To help me? Why?
That was more to establish the danger of the planet you landed on. Still, I think it would have worked just as well had you been eaten. And I personally would have preferred it that way. Especially if she went around the rest of the movie with her shirt off. Fearing the lake monster may be amphibious, the group grabs their stuff and quickly retreats. They stop just long enough to let the audience know their plans are to grab their stuff and quickly retreat.
My orders are, to grab this gear and move out to safer, drier ground.
Please tell me one of you remember to pack a razor. The next major issue they face is there is knee-high water in their way. Fortunately, while Derna gets hysterical at the thought of getting wet and or eaten, Mike, played by Max Thayer, knows how to calm her down.
Look, take this. Take it. If you see anything that frightens you, press here. It'll kill almost anything.
Still wonder how the lifeboat was large enough for 9 of the motherfuckers, yet they only had 3 rifles on the thing. Or maybe I shouldn't be too worried about that detail when it turns out these particular firearms have a certain weakness to them.
Jim, how's the laser?
Dead.
The damn things can't survive being splashed by water. Like, my cell phone has been submerged twice and it's still kicking. But they don't have bags of dry rice on this planet? And the point is, didn't they swim to shore with these things earlier? What the fuck happened then?
He only did what he thought was right, Lee.
No, Jim. No one does what he thinks is right. You all do what I think is right. I'm in command here.
I'm in command, so do what I say or I'll tell my dad. So they continue onward towards safety. I mean, yeah, nothing has come after them since they left the lake, but surely this isn't safe here. It's a swamp. Of course, it's a really damn big swamp that they can't manage to get out of before day or night sets in, and they have to make camp. Fortunately, they do have some space-age emergency rations.
It enables a person to complete his daily tasks with strength, energy, and a cheerful attitude. Funny, I don't feel a bit cheerful.
Damn Prozac must have gone out of date. They converse amongst themselves, bitching and complaining about everything while jumping between it's okay, we'll be rescued, and oh fuck, we're stuck here forever. With this in mind, one begins reminiscing about how this reminds her of that time she went camping.
When I was a little girl, we used to go to this beautiful valley in Ohio. There were weeping willows and...
Oh, for fuck's sake, every time someone lands on this planet, they just keep droning on and on about Ohio. Nobody cares, bitch!
It's a hunting call. Whatever is out there is carnivorous. And it sounds very, very hungry.
Okay, expert on alien predators, mind explaining to me exactly how they manage to feed themselves when they go out to hunt and they have a habit of saying, "Okay, any prey in the vicinity, I'm coming to eat you now. Don't run away." We don't have to break a sweat on this, just come on. Still, I don't feel the need to move camp, just wait it out until morning. But when the sun comes up, to their horror, they find a gigantic creature viciously hunting plant life. And I have to say, the stop-motion animation at work here is pretty good.
This planet is similar to Earth. Similar elements bring about similar life forms.
I never saw anything like that on Earth.
Obviously, this planet is much younger than that of our Earth.
So much wrong with that idea. You know, the basics of chaos theory, very minor changes in starting conditions result in drastically different outcomes. I mean, in order for this plot to actually work like this planet would actually have to be Earth 2.0 down to the smallest microbe and have events go in the same way up until this point when the humans arrive. And, you know, at this stage in the plot, it's just a lot easier to accept time travel, to be honest. But we can't forget they're in danger, so while they're out looking, a ninja carnivore swoops in and eats 20% of the sauropod, leaving behind a hell of a lot of meat and ominous footprints. But never mind the danger, let's focus on the fact that our team needs to eat, and has a handy-dandy food safety scanner thing that has determined that there are edible berries, albeit ones that taste like shredded wheat.
What are these? They're much like belladonna on Earth. Ah, friends from home. Deadly poison, of course.
Oh yeah, another name for belladonna is deadly nightshade. I might understand her trying to eat them if you described it as in the same family as tomatoes or the like. But it's good to know they'll be able to scan the plant life for edible fruits, so long as their Star Trek gadget is in their hands. Oh god, not a Stegosaurus! And they didn't even paint this one, it's just raw clay, run! But they can't escape before they run into another much more deadly creature, a motherfucking T-Rex. This means they drop yet another one of their lasers, but we get to see one of them slip back into frame, like Forrest Gump superimposed into Lost World. Strangely, they do actually retrieve their weapon, but instead of putting it to use against the Predator, they just continue running away towards the mysterious safety.
All right, this looks like a good place to start.
Hey, wait a minute. Whoa. Where are we going?
Up, Mr. Baylor.
I figure if we learn to fly, there's no way the dinosaurs will ever catch us. Rather, this is a plateau, and Captain Pornsash believes the larger creatures would be too clumsy to get up there. Besides constantly climbing, perched up on dangerous cliffs, clearly this is the safest place they could possibly go. I'm starting to wonder if they actually would have been better off if they had just accepted the few deaths and actually retrieved the radio equipment from the start. But she doesn't die, so I guess there's not much to complain about.
That was our food, Captain. You gonna send somebody down to get it?
Are you volunteering, Mr. Baylor?
Hey, that was our food!
Well, if you ask me, what looked to be about 5 sandwiches probably wasn't going to feed all of you for that much longer anyway. As we already know, Baylor exists to bitch and complain about everything because he didn't sign up for being stranded on a planet swarming with colossal beasts. It was only supposed to be a 3-hour tour. However, his bossing everyone else around to fetch him some water as he can't be arsed to doesn't sit well with the group, least of all his former secretary.
What's this?
Don't ask the captain, he'll just say it's a fucking rock. No bother, she may have resigned, but they still have to work together, pushing forward through the caves until they reach an opening, leading them up into some more noticeable areas of Vasquez rocks. Of course, they need 2 people to go ahead and make sure it's safe, so why not send up the businessman with Mrs. Mustache, Nyla? Of course, they get all of 30 feet before Baylor decides he's gone long enough and takes a rest. However, he discovers a nest of eggs. Being a total fucking idiot, he rattles off the luck they must have on this plateau, as there must be enormous chickens that will bestow upon them more food than they could ever need.
Here, Chicky! Come here, Uncle Harvey, sweetheart!
Well, you do have to admire their punctuality. Fortunately, they have one of their laser rifles that will kill almost anything. As it turns out, though, a ceratopsid is one of those things that fall under almost, barely even being annoyed by the death ray. Probably my favorite death in the movie. Good night, sweet prince. Now that it got its kill in, the creature calms down and leaves, allowing the group to say farewell to their annoying fifth wheel. I do wonder if the secretary used the I quit rock in the pile. too soon? Still, they reach the plateau of safety around Vasquez Rocks, so that's all good. Except for the fact that Jim thinks Lee's an idiot for running and hiding from everything. In his opinion, the only way to survive is to face the dinosaurs head on.
Wolves used to wipe out whole villages until men went out and hunted them. Wolves learn.
We can't risk lives trying to tame dinosaurs. We'll stay here. We're safe.
Captain, so far the body count is one at the lake and one at the plateau. Not only is that not nearly enough data to actually draw a reasonable conclusion out of, but just looking at it, it really doesn't even appear all that much safer here.
Lee, there's land out there. Land to farm, land to build on. We're technicians.
It's like a multiplayer game of space engineers. We can watch them build a base, put a solar array on a rotor, watch the rotor explode for no apparent reason, and then Chuck can fall through the planet. The majority decides that security sounds much nicer than freedom, so Jim is overruled. This results in us watching them build the props for this movie out of whatever the hell they can find lying around, and talking to each other about the frustrations between the captain and Jim. Still, there are defenses to build.
Can I help?
Sure.
Oh, there's no more flint.
Okay, I'll get some here.
It's funny, normally when you spend this long watching mundane, uninteresting labor, it's just a setup for... Yeah, that! Well, that's great. Now I'm going to get a bunch of comments from people with arachnophobia. Or whatever the phobia is for the fear of sentient pipe cleaners. Fortunately, Jim swoops in just in time to save the day, and berate her for thinking she was safe when there still exist things on this planet that may try to kill them at some point. Well, let's go back to As the Brachiosaurus Turns, where we see Mike talking up Derna about how she and Mr. Baylor were more than just co-workers, and since we might be here for a while, populating the planet might be fun. No time for that now, because we have to find out they've been fermenting berry juice in their off time and celebrate their survival over the last few weeks by getting shit-faced.
The dance of desire.
Wait a minute, where the hell did those woodwinds come from? Jim, though, is not joining in on the festivities, instead standing guard. This is the movie telling us yet again about his butting heads with Lee over how the party should be led.
Lee is weak.
Don't be cruel.
On this world, you have two choices. Be cruel or die.
That's a false dichotomy, Lee. You can be cruel and die. Nothing saying you can't. But the movie really slows down here, and we see everyone working on securing their shelter, while at the same time holding out hope for a rescue ship to come. Nevertheless, Chuck here is feeling down, and does think the whole thing is useless. Which is really fun to watch. Very interesting. Now can we please get back to the dinosaurs? Thank you. Doesn't mean, of course, Lee was wrong about the plateau being safe. Though, personally, I am surprised. I expected them to run into pterosaurs or something up there, but no, still these fuckers. They managed to hurt and scare the beast off, saving the woman's life, but that's not enough to satisfy Jim.
This is that thing's hunting ground, and it's coming back unless we make sure it doesn't.
How do we do that?
Hunt it! Kill it!
Are you crazy? Some of us could get maimed or killed.
For fuck's sake, Lee's like the shitty camp counselor who finds any amount of fun too dangerous. Thus the hunt is on. The whole tribe against the wounded biped. Who will win?
Follow me!
Fucking kill stealing dinosaurs. Bet the thing had good loot too. But no reason to get right into the action. Let's just slip back to base, where we can see our intrepid adventurers have learned the joys of eating meat, and more slow, talky scenes about survival and insecurity. Again, on the plus side, we see that Chuck and Charlotte are growing close. Very close. Son of a bitch, it really is a goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus! The thing rips through their barriers no problem, but oh no, the last laser rifle of uselessness is still in the camp, so Nyla rushes back for it, and gets eaten for her troubles. This does let them know where the T-Rex lair is, though, which means they can concentrate on figuring out how to kill the beast.
We can use those poison berries.
Good. Lee, it might work. Their juice rubbed on spears and arrow tips.
And best of all, it finally gives us a reason for establishing that there were poison berries in the first place. Forever trying to make this more complicated, Lee shoots down the plan and says instead they should kill another dino, stuff it with berries, and leave it for the Rex to eat.
Let's try Lee's bait idea first. If it doesn't work, we've lost nothing.
So what exactly do they lose when Lee's plans fail? Mike! Well, I gotta admit, he never really added much to the movie anyway. So it's on to plan B. Finally fucking listening to Jim because he's the only one who had any fucking idea how to survive the entire time you've been out here. With that in mind, they erect giant wreck-stabbing stakes and soak the tips in poison berry juice. Thus, after getting the creature's attention and rushing it back to the trap. That was a pretty deep wound. May I ask, was the berry poison really necessary with that? I mean, what were the chances he was going to survive anyway? Never mind that. Happy ending! The Rex is dead, and clearly was the only T-Rex on the planet anyway, making it clearly not a sexual Tyrannosaurus. But wouldn't you know it, out of our survivors we have 2 women! Years later we see they are still going strong, and reproducing incredibly slowly.
Do you think we'll ever be rescued? Somehow it doesn't really matter anymore.
If you don't start pumping out more kids, your stay on the planet will be pretty short-lived. And a genetic bottleneck of 4 individuals isn't a great place to start. Even cheetahs had it better than that, but... Anyway, that was Planet of Dinosaurs, and it is low-budget, cheesy, pretty crap, and a hell of a lot of fun. If you're a fan of low-budget cheese, this might have everything you would want. The effects, while dated, are actually pretty impressive, all things considered. The plot is very basic, which makes it easy to put this movie on with a group of friends and spend the whole time heckling it without getting lost. And the acting is bad enough to be hilarious without being infuriating. But while I'm on the topic of things I like about this movie, I should mention the soundtrack. I didn't really showcase it much in this review, but it's a sort of proto-electronica score that focuses more on the sci-fi aspect of the film. It's got a feel that, in a way, reminds me of gaming on the Sega Genesis. Not the SNES, they had a better sound hardware than this, but it was an aspect I genuinely enjoyed. If you want to focus on the negatives, clearly there was plenty to look at here. The setting is just the area around Vasquez Rocks. That's pretty much the entirety of the filming locations. It worked, but it was extremely limiting on what could be seen. The lighting also is hit and miss. Filming in a desert, of course, they had more than enough light for many scenes, but the night scenes were ridiculously dark, which, while it makes sense, the point of watching a movie is to see it. Overall, Planet of Dinosaurs is a classic low-budget flick that can be really enjoyable if you're into the genre. It might even be fun to watch for people just getting into classic movies, but it is still objectively low in the quality scale, coming in at 2 stop-motion dinosaurs turned props for ease of digestion out of 5. It's old, it's shitty, but it's just a joy for me to watch. But you might want to be a little careful about wasting money on it. Anyway, thank you all for watching. I've been Dr. Shado, and remember, if you want your species to survive, you're gonna have to do a lot more fucking.
What the hell was that? An animal of sort.